What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take NFL DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. Joined once again by the GOAT True OG. Some of y'all know is Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter, Paulie with 8 D's. Paulie, what's happening?
What's happening, man? What you doing? What's good today?
Hey, shit, man. Was excited to see that we have a 2-game NFL slate. That was fun. Was not excited to see that it was at 5 o'clock. Like, we were just talking. It's just weird. I mean, it's cool. Having football. Yeah. Football's football. We'll take it. Just a little weird.
Football. It's a great game, you know?
Yes.
A game I'd like to watch, but I, too, am annoyed with the 5 o'clock start because now I got to, finish work, wrap up, pretty much miss the whole first half by the time I get home to really settle in and enjoy this motherfucker, you know?
Yeah, and, the worst part about that is, in your situation, being that you won't really know what's going on until about halftime, if you were to not do well, you could be done before you even had a chance to sweat, which is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
On the flip side, if you're doing well, you could come home to a pleasant surprise. So let's get at it. We'll do dirties. Shout out to Patio Joe, 6-0 in cash games this year. Joey Joe, if you're not reading Joey's cash game article, then I guess you're not playing cash games. Because if you are, you would want to win, and you would want to see what Joey has to say about cash games this week. So shout out to Patio Joe. Shout out to everyone in the nation, man. D. Millie, Fritz. Fritz had a really good cash week, man. Fritz, I saw Fritz had a really good ROI, and he's a cash game dude. One of our members in the Slack chat, and I saw that I think he won $200-something, which was a really good return on what he invested. And he had Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. That's how well he did everywhere else. He had A-Rod as his quarterback who sucked a you-know-what. And so shout out to him, man. The Slack's been slowly bumping. You know, me and you have been trying to find time. Patio Joe's been trying to find time. We're trying to get up in there. D. Millie's been awesome. And Fritz, man, they've been going back and forth. Our boy Smith is in there. It's starting to creep back up, and I think it's about time for us to remind everybody of the value of a community, the value of something like a Slack chat. So shout out to the nation. We do plan on doing more things to make things a little bit more excited around here. Going to be doing a Wise Take League for Week 7, so stay on the tune for that. We're doing another giveaway this week, as we have been each week, and that'll be announced on tomorrow night's show, the first look of myself and Patio Joe. So we got a lot going on, and we have a lot more coming. So very, very excited. With that said, let's jump on into today's 2-game slate. Starting with the Chiefs-Bills, we have a 54.5 total, down 3 points from 57.5. Chiefs sum it up -3.5, that's -5.5. Not really sure why, because all the Bills are in, so I'm guessing that's money or some kind of perceptual move. Maybe the line came out before the Bills lost to Tennessee. Maybe. With that said, either way, we're doing dirties. You know what? Yeah. We'll go game by game first, then we'll go position by position. So talk to me about the Chiefs and Bills.
Where did you say the line started out?
From what I see, it started off at 3.5. And it
3.5.
Yeah. And it's up to 5.5 now.
Right. Okay. True that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely having to do with that loss and how badly they lost and their perceptuality of the public. Sexuality of how good KC is versus maybe Buffalo was a pretender. Do you know?
I'm trying to think. Does perceptuality have anything to do with sexuality? Are they related in any way?
I guess it all depends how you perceive things.
Yes. No. In all seriousness, I think you make a really good point. And you're right. Like to your credit, the Bills have looked great. I think they were one of the more shocking teams. Not that they were going to be good, but that they were going to look this good. And we don't want to knock against the Titans. The Titans have looked awesome, right? Offensively, they looked really efficient, and that was their thing last year, efficiency. So I do agree. This is by far the biggest test they will have seen, especially because Kansas City's defense has been so much better. I did see our boy Chadwick in the YouTube chat was asking about the Bills news, and it looks like everybody's in. So Yeldon's inactive because Moss is available. But Brown is in. Their tight end is out though, right? Knox.
Knox?
Yeah. Yes. Knox. Yeah, Knox is out. Yeah, he's been out. He's been knoxed down, if you will. So
what are we talking about? Buffalo or Kansas City side?
Start me off with the road team, sons. Let's talk about some Chief action.
All right. So the Chiefs, the big thing is no Sammy Watkins. Um, I personally don't really think the Buffalo D is that great at either one position. They're good against the wideouts, but you can pass on them inside the field. They're decent against the run, but just decent, So I think Patty Mahomes can slice them up, do whatever he wants. They're the best team in football, and could be a big day for guys like Tyreek, Mecole Hard, Demarcus Robinson, all those really, really cheap dudes. Even possibly Byron Pringle if you're on a Showtime or whatever you're doing, a Showdown. But Demarcus Robinson and Mecole Hard are two really, really nice value plays on this whole slate. We know that Mahomes likes to kind of spread it out. And these are the two dudes I like a lot in this offense. Really like Tyreek, but I prefer Travis Kelce. And also positional scarcity-wise, there's no one else at tight end after Travis Kelce. Receivers, there's dudes to pivot off from Tyreek Hill. So Kelce and the two value guys are what I'm most interested in here. Really like Mahomes. 2-game slate, only 4 options at quarterback. I probably will get exposure to all 4. It's just a matter of how much. Mahomes will be one of the guys I have the most of.
Man, I can't disagree, man. He's got the highest ceiling on this slate. These are all guys with relatively high floors outside of Dalton, because they all run, right? Mahomes, Allen, Murray. But I agree with you. Clearly, Mahomes has the highest ceiling. I think it's on the table to do like the Chiefs onslaughts today, just Mahomes, and just play as many Chiefs as you can possibly fit, and then just squeeze in whoever else works. But I do prefer Kelce over Hill as well. I think Hill's in a good spot. I just think, like Paulie said, it's more deep. There's more guys that can give you a similar price, whereas at tight end, it does seem like Kelce has a chance to really max out that position. But Kelce, Mahomes, I like Mecole Hardman with Sammy Watkins out. I expect him to do some dirts. I also think Demarcus Robinson's kind of sneaky for some showdown action. He should also benefit from Watkins being out. Everybody kind of sliding up there. But I do like Mecole Hardman for value. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm cool with playing him with Mahomes. He had 8 targets in the last game. Like I said, Onslaught City, I'm fine with that. I think the Chiefs do run away with this game. And to be honest with you, I like the Chiefs D as well. The Chiefs D is probably my favorite defense. What about the Bills side, Paulie?
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how they bounce back. Nice of them, the league, to give them this game on a Monday after the Tuesday action, so they are adequately rested and whatnot. Josh Allen, I think that's where you start with Moss around and Singletary. They're viable, but I'll probably have less than 10% of either. I'm cool with the receivers, Diggs, sprinkle of Brown, sprinkle of Cole Beasley. Nothing for me at tight end, and that's it. So it's really like Josh Allen plus a receiver is how I'm approaching Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Josh Allen would be, if you're targeting the Buffalo offense, would be one of the priorities. John Brown, obviously, being back, I think is, I don't think it's terrible for Diggs, but I do like John Brown because he's just too cheap. He's $4K. I actually have some interest in the tight end here for value, and in some teams I did go double tight end because I did want to play Kelce too, but I'm okay with Tyler Kroft. I think it's either, I think Schultz is fine, but I kind of feel like a high-low situation. Without Knox in there, Kroft should be playing a pretty healthy amount of snaps, and the tight ends have had success against the Chiefs. So obviously Kelce is the one you want, but if you're in a position where you really like your team and you really need some value, I don't mind doing a double tight end deal because Kelce is not no regular tight end. So I'm cool with him. I'm not that interested in the running backs either. I'll have some, but Hilaire and Zeke are going to be the 2 highest owned backs, and for good reason. I'll have some, but again, I'm concerned that the Bills are going to be trailing in this game for a long time. All right, we'll move on to the next game. Then we'll go position by position. The Arizona Cardinals, Dallas Cowboys. We have a 55 total, up from 53.5. Now, the Cardinals opened up as 2.5-point favorites on the road. Dallas is now a 1-point favorite. Talk to me about the Cardinals.
Thank you. I like Kyler over here. Not as much as Mahomey. Probably not as much as the Red Rocket point per dollar wise, but I think he ends up as the second highest scoring QB on the slate, and he could push for first, or he could be last. Like all four of these quarterbacks are capable. So I'm probably just gonna, like I said, get like 25% of them and whatnot. But Kyler's certainly one of the ones I'll have the most of. And then I really like Chase Edmonds. Once again, he did really well for us last weekend on the Sunday, I mean, where he was like 3% owned and we were way over the field. Got us like a 20-something, 21, 20. Close down. I don't know, 20-something. A little bit of Kenyon Drake might as well mix in there. It's still probably he'll get more touches, carries. But that could change on a whim. They could just demote his ass and go with Chase full-fledged. Or he may start playing well. He played his best game, actually, last game after Chase Edmonds kind of did some dirty. So I'll have a little bit of Drake, but more Edmonds. And similar to like not similar, but the opposite of Travis Kelce, DeAndre Hopkins, there are other options at the positions. So it's like, yeah, he's nice, but you're not going to fit all these studs, right? And I'm assuming you're going to want to pay up for one of the running backs. And we already talked about like Diggs and an expensive Travis Kelce. So if you can't get him, there's, pivots for $1,000 cheaper. But if you're going to do anything, it's Hopkins. And then if you're going to take one of these flyers, to win one of these 2-game slates, you're going to have to hit on a Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella kind of play. I think all three are legitimately viable. It looks like Isabella and Kirk are kind of splitting that wideout role. Fitzgerald's doing the little slot ski, and D-Hop's the X, the wideout on the other side. So they're all kind of just like 10% owned plays unless you have some sort of reason for liking one more than the other.
No, I agree. I think it's I actually like this game in general. I think that I expect the first game to be the game that people think is going to shoot out the most. I think people play the Cardinals defense because it's Dalton, and I think a contrarian approach, which like maybe it's not that contrarian of an approach, seeing as how this game actually has a higher total now. But
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking people are going to look at the Cowboys game as the shootout game.
You think so? You don't think people are going to look at the Mahomes-Allen game as the shootout?
I don't know.
You think people are going to think that Andy Dalton is the shootout guy?
Yeah, with Kyler Murray, those bad defenses,
I don't know. I mean, you could be right. Don't get me wrong. I just think, we see Mahomes on a slate in a game against a guy that's keeping up. I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked at any ownership projections, but I just kind of assume number one, it's the first game. People like to get on the first game. Second of all, you have all more of the star power in that game when you got Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. I don't know. I mean, I figured people would be more on like Zeke in this late game.
And Hopkins and Zeke and the Cowboys and.
Well, but I mean the Cowboys without Dak, right? Like who opened up as underdogs in this game at home. I don't know. I mean, let's ask the chat. Chat, what game do you think is more likely to shoot out, or what game what are we asking? What do we think they think is popular, or are we asking what we think they think is likely to shoot out, and we're just going to assume that means it's popular? You know what I mean?
Now you get it.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Listen, last night, Jen experimented with some edibles. We made our first batch. And let's just say that we used way too much. And it hasn't worn off fully yet for me. So you're hurting my brain.
Yeah. Fair enough. I thought the Bills and Chiefs would have been more popular. I thought people would have more interest in playing Mahomes or Allen rather than one of Kyler Murray, who's hard to really triple stack with because you just know D-Hop and Dalton, who I think people are assuming that Dalton is just not good. So far, Moochie says Bills and Chiefs. Tony A says Kansas City. That was just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. If that's not the case, then fuck everything I'm saying.
You're right. Sounds like you're right, though.
I don't know.
But I thought the other way, but
well, that's what I want to do. But it only works if not everybody is going there. If I'm doing the same fucking thing as everyone else, then fuck it, I want the Chiefs game instead. But this is the game that I was thinking I'll get a slightly. I mean, it's a 2-game slate. We're not talking about no low owned plays, but slightly lower ownership that this one kind of shoots out. Like, I feel like people are going to be hesitant to press the play a guy like Dalton, and because of that, I like, I
mean, they're both 55 totals, pretty much. Like.
Right.
We're looking at shootouts in both games, I think.
Very, very, very likely. I have a strange feeling that the Chiefs are kind of roll Buffalo, and then the Cowboys are going to win. I actually have a little parlay action with that, so I'm a little biased, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
bias on
it. But yeah, I don't know.
Wait. So who did you bet? You bet the Chiefs and the Cowboys?
Yeah. I got the Chiefs at 3. So I paid for some points. A parlay. Chiefs 3, Cowboys money line. But because like my initial thinking is, people are gonna roll in here and just assume that the Cowboys are gonna suck now because they got Dalton. But Dalton is going to be in the best position on this team. He's going to be on the best position on this team that he has ever been in his career. He's got one of the best offensive lines to protect him. He's got weapons everywhere, right? Gallup is his new John Ross. You have an upgrade from John Ross to Gallup. You've got an upgrade. Well, I'm not going to say an upgrade. Tyler Boyd is good. But you have a Tyler Boyd and CeeDee Lamb. And now you've got an actual star receiver, something you haven't had in a while, right? And Amari Cooper. Yeah. And then you got Zeke, a fucking actual running back. So I think Dalton's going to do well in the system. I told you I tried to pick him up in season long. Somebody else beat me to it. But so like, I know I'm supposed to be talking about the Cardinals at this point. I do like this game. I do want to find ways to get D-Hop, especially because I think between Brown and Hardman, like there are ways to easily get him. My problem with Murray's the one quarterback that I'm okay with just 1-1. I don't need Kirk. I don't need Isabella. I'm fine with them. But I'm good with just Murray, assuming he's going to run. And then D-Hop, assuming he's going to throw a D-Hop. I'm fine with that and just making skill players all around it. And just hope that like he throws for 2 touchdowns and runs for 2.
Like, you need the value to fit in a lot of the studs. Yes. Like the way the lineup filled out.
Yes.
There's not much in the mid-tier that you can I'll go down there. It becomes very stars and scrubs very quickly.
Yes, that is true. Hence, me talking up Knox earlier. Holla.
Yeah.
With that said, the running back situation, I'm like kind of split on. I want like 20% of both because it depends on game script, right? Like I think Edmonds is the guy. Edmonds is catching a lot of passes, bro. He's catching like 6 to 8 passes or like 6 to 8 targets a game. Drake's not getting no pass action, but even last week, despite being outplayed, Drake did get more actual carries. So,
right,
just like fuck it. I prefer Edmonds too. I'm with you. I want the guy in DraftKings anyway. I want the guy who's getting the ball thrown to him. But Dallas's defense is a different level of bad, so I don't know. We'll see. What about the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think Zeke is the obvious. Like they've already been feeding him a lot, and they may feed him more, like Ryback. I think you can sprinkle in some Tony Pollard, but that's
they didn't even make him cheap, man. Like, what was that about? Like, I was shocked. I saw the price. I was like, damn, man. What was that? Bullshit. Algo knows all, though.
Algo knows everything. Andy Dalton, 5,200. I like that. You need it. You need it on for some builds. I mean, he could be the highest scoring quarterback today. There's a 10% chance, I'd say. So I'm gonna have like 15% of the Dalton. I like Amari Cooper. Number 1, I like CeeDee Lamb some. I like Michael Gallup. And I think Cedric Wilson should be included in your builds at like 10%. He's thrown for a touchdown pass this year. He's caught 2 in a game. These guys get hurt, the Cowboy receivers, and they will stay 3 wide. Cedric Wilson could get on the field if somebody's taking some plays off. Dalton Schultz is Dalton Schultz. He's really never going to amount to much in life. But he's there, he catches some.
He's never gonna amount to much in life. Like,
bro, he already amounted to much. It's a tight end for the Cowboys. He's already dead. But I mean, in the DFS life.
Yeah, that was brutal. I feel bad for the guy. If that's some shit, make somebody cry, man. He'd be sitting on the couch right now. He's coming across.
He's not watching the show.
You never know, bro.
Warming up.
You never know. He might be playing DFS on the sly, man. You never know.
He's warming up.
Oh, he's busy doing something with his life. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Dalton is the easiest way to get all the good studs in without having to suck too much, to make it all work. So I'm good. I'm gonna have some Dalton too. I think I like CeeDee Lamb the most. Arizona has struggled the most with the slot. I'm okay with Amari Cooper, though I do think he'll be shadowed by Peterson, who's been beat. Peterson's been beat plenty of times this year. But the one that I think is the sneakiest, not the one that I don't have the most, but the one that I think is the sneakiest is Gallup. If you remember, Gallup, despite not having nearly as many targets as the other dudes, he's like second in air yards. So he's the deep down threat. He's the guy they want to go deep with. Dalton liked to try that shit. He would try that shit with Ross last year. You could see they got a new quarterback. Ross got replaced, all this good shit. But Dalton does like to try that shit. And if he has time, I wouldn't be surprised if he took some deep shots at Gallup today. So I think Gallup is an interesting value play, if you will. Going back to the game itself, the reason I like this game more is because you take Dak out. Yes, that makes Dallas more likely to kind of suck a little bit more. I think Dak is a very good quarterback. However, what you don't change with Dak being gone is how bad the Dallas defense is. So the only variable here is Dalton, who's an experienced quarterback and has been in this league for a while, and he's going to have the best system. They're still going to throw a lot because Kellen Moore, who is a pass-happy quarterback from Boise State, is still going to want to do that. So I like this game. I'll position by position time. I'm gonna pull up some projection action for those of you watching. Here we go. Quarterback. So for our projections based off DVP and pace, keep in mind Dallas is currently first in pace because they're constantly trailing, which makes them play at elevated pace. Kyler Murray we have projected as the highest on a raw points scale. That's a combination of what he's done so far this year, a combination of the pace, and combination of DVP. Fantasy points allowed. Dallas has allowed the 8th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. With that said, Paulie, talk to me about the quarterbacks you like and the order in which you like them.
All right. Give me Mahomes, Kyler, Rocket, and Allen.
I think I have pretty much the same ranking. I mean, Dalton's a third. Like, I think like I'm doing a 20 entry max today, and I'm also doing a 3 entry max. And I think I mean that sounds. I know the minute I say it, I'm gonna jinx the shit out of myself. But I think Allen is the one I'm leaving out. I think I want a Kyler team. I think I want a Patty Mahomes team, and I think I want a Dalton team, so I can get real dirty on them. Now, granted, I will have about I'll have them fairly evenly distributed in the 20 maxes, but for this one, holla at your boy. On to the running back position. Another thin one here. As soon as it loads, we will see that Ezekiel Elliott is by far raw points projecting like we've got him at 25.77 on DraftKings. The next closest is Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 16.4. Keep in mind, this is the last chance for Edwards-Helaire to have that backfield all to himself. Le'Veon Bell is coming. Well, he may not even play until Wednesday, so he may not even be here. But Paulie, talk to me about running backs.
Yeah, baby. Drake is probably. No, I'm sorry, not Drake. Edmonds is probably my favorite, based on price and point per dollar, highest point per dollar out. Then Zeke, then probably Drake. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I'll probably go more chalky with this one. I'll have the most of Zeke and Helaire. I'll go a little chalky there. I don't mind Singletary just for the price. I know Moss is back, and in my 20 maxes I may grab a couple Mosses. It's a couple. Throw them in the pocket. Oh, Pollard is cheap today. Yeah. What the fuck am I talking about? I saw. It must have been a showdown slate. That's what I was looking at. Okay, I think Pollard was like 5'8" or some shit, and I remember thinking like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense. Going over to wide receiver, I'm assuming D-Hop is going to be our highest projected raw points, and once again, it's by a pretty far margin. We've got him projected for 28 DraftKings points.
Yeah. You got that much more than Little Willie from Kansas City.
Yes, but that's mainly because of the DVP boost he's getting. Wide receivers, Dallas is like second in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So he gets the big boost today, but he's also significantly more expensive than Mr. Tyreek Hill, Little Hill from Phil. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
Justified. Tyreek Hill is our second highest, as he should be, with an 18. Talk to me. Talk dirty.
I like Amari Cooper the best. I like Tyreek Hill the second, and I guess D-Hop third.
Yeah, I like D-Hop numero uno. I do like Tyreek Hill, but I like Kelsey more than him, so I'm gonna keep him down on the rankings. I think it goes Hopkins, then CeeDee Lamb. I do like CeeDee in the slot. I like Michael Gallup on the sneaks and Miko Hardman. Miko. And then of course you got John Brown. There are a decent amount of like receiver value. And those are the obvious ones. We haven't even talked about Andy Isabella in this mix. Right. Gabriel Davis, who I know John Brown is back, but holla at your boy. Larry Fitzgerald. You know what I mean? We haven't even talked about it.
Right.
You
gonna play Larry Fitzgerald?
In the 20 maxes, he's not touching my main squeezies. You know,
he'll make the 20 max.
He'll make the 20 max only because like who you gonna pair? Like if you are trying to do a triple stack, you can easily use Edmonds. Don't get me wrong, but if you didn't want to do that, it's D-Hop and then Kirk. You know, Kirk.
No.
Yeah. I'll probably have more Kirk than Fitzy, but I may have a team or two with him.
Not many. All right. What else?
Tight end, son.
Tight end. Kelsey. That's it.
You answered that shit quicker than my screen was able to load up, man. Now my shit's broke.
I mean, the only other options is Dalton Schultz, who's never going to amount to much in life. Tyler, and I don't know who else you're going to look at.
Yeah, no. It's Kelsey for sure. And then, like I said, I'm going to take some shots on Croft. I'll be overweight on him. Nothing special here. Don't get me wrong, tight ends have done okay against Kansas City, but they've been particularly good with receivers. And with knocks out, I expect Croft to play a decent amount. So 3,200 for some value action, I'm okay with it. But yeah, Kelsey is your guy. Boy. What about defense, man? What are you doing with defense?
I think you get 25% of each. Each one of these defenses has had the highest score of the four teams on one of the weeks this year. Like the Bills have won a week, the Cowboys have won a week, the Chiefs and the Cardinals. So I think it's pretty wide open. I'm not going to put much thought into it. I'm just going to get 25% of each.
What do you think is the most popular defense?
The Chiefs.
You think so? I thought the Cardinals would have been simply because of Dalton. But, I'm with you, Paulie. I don't think Dalton's that bad. I just think that perceptually, as we said before, I think people do. So I don't know.
Right.
I was confused. I do like the Chiefs the most. But, yeah, I agree with you. Right? Like, all these guys got some chances. All these teams like to throw. Get dirty. Get different. Yeah, get different.
Right.
Let's pop into the chat.
Chat.
That chat that we hop into. Chadwick, what's up, man? What's up? Chadwick says, tell Paulie 8Ds to wake up.
That's right.
That's right. There was a good one the other day. Somebody called you Paulie 8Zs or some shit like that. That was good. That was a clever one. You know what I mean? That was a clever one. Good. Patio Joe was in the chat dropping dimes and everybody letting them know who's active for the Bills. Let's see. Mucci says, which game has the highest total? Initially, the Chiefs game did, but now, by half a point, it looks like Dallas does. Or the Dallas game, not Dallas the team. But initially, the Chiefs did.
Right.
Jimmy says, who to pick tonight? People for slate. Jimmy, hopefully you tuned into the show. We dropped some dirties on you. My boy Mucci Mob Ties, Josh Allen bounce back spot in a shootout. Certainly a viability. Stephen B says, when Tennessee played Buffalo and New England played Kansas City, they were giving up the short underneath stuff. I think the slot guys will do well today. When Tennessee played Buffalo and New England played Kansas City, I do think the slot does really well. CeeDee Lamb, he's my favorite slot guy. The Chiefs actually, numbers-wise, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I was researching it earlier, and the slots have not done all that well against Kansas City this year, surprisingly. But their defense has just been better than it was last year. Patio Joe had a little scare. He thought he saw Paulie's eyes dropping a bit earlier, but needless to say, we were fine. Stephen B, I heard a stat today, something like New England only blitzed Mahomes 8 times out of 80 on pass plays. Damn, that sounds foolish, but Mahomes will beat you anyway. You can't win. What up, Joe?
It's dirty to you.
That's it. Mochi says Josh Allen 3 touchdowns is his bold prediction. Diego Rodriguez, this is a good one, good point, because I see Diego says Zona and Cowboys 2 high-paced teams. That is correct. However, Dallas will only be high-paced if Arizona forces them to be. So if Arizona makes them trail, they will have to be fast-paced. If not, I do think they'll try to sit back and kind of kill the clock. Moochie says Dallas and Arizona slower pace game. Not necessarily. So yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
But right now,
the Dallas coach is gonna throw no matter what, so they're always gonna move fast.
Let's do it. Well, then we already know the deal with Arizona. Like they are trying to be one of the fastest teams in the league. So
they are.
As far as pace goes, believe it or not, my boy Tony, or my boy Moochie. The Dallas game should actually be the faster one, but it's all going to come down to efficiency, all that good shit. You know what I mean?
Good shit.
Let's see. Will Brown says Edmonds and Chase. I wonder if you mean Edmonds and Drake. You know what I mean? At running back tonight, I'm chalking every receiver and tight end. Kelsey, obviously. So he might go double Arizona running back and just go chalky everywhere else because he's being contrarian that way.
Yeah. I did a couple builds like that. I like that build.
I like it.
It works.
I like it.
Double.
That's the I like it. Kyle Bogart, what up, nation? What up, Kyle? Dalton at QB, pay up for Kelsey? Yes and yes. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. That's right. Yo, who's your favorite value play?
Tyler Cross. Oh, no, not Tyler Cross. That's my favorite tight end value play. Favorite value play is probably Mecole Hardman or John Brown. Mecole Hardman, John Brown. Mecole Hardman, John Brown.
All right.
What about you?
Chase? Probably Mecole Hardman, Marcus Robinson, Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, you really want it to be a Chief guy because Mahomes spreads the ball out so much. Like he's, he's gonna throw. Like if he throws 6 touchdowns, it'll be like maybe a 2 max to 1 person. Other than that, like it's probably a different one.
Yeah,
that caught him
like that.
Oh, sharp report action. Holla.
Like that.
NFL sharp action. Yeah. Chiefs, Buffalo under, Cowboys, Arizona, Dallas over. Chadwick concurs. Says Sharps have the KC Buffalo game going under the total. Sharps are wrong too sometimes, man. Take it from me. Sharps had over in the fucking Green Bay Tampa game that I played very heavily and got fucked by.
Like Dick.
Like Dick, yes. Very much like Dick. But not the good kind, the bad kind.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
My best team at the end of the day. I actually did have one team that had a shot, and that last game came, and I had Godwin and Tanyan. And all I needed, man, was maybe a 15 to 20 on average from each. And it's smash burgers. But did I get that? No, because Aaron Rodgers.
Out of Chris Godwin and teams that were already up there, and just needed him to have a good game, like a 30 burger. He didn't come close.
But the thing is, did you watch the game?
Nah, not much. I fell asleep, actually.
He could have. If Green Bay did push him, he would have. But they just, became the Ronald Jones show because Green Bay couldn't do shit. But anytime they wanted Godwin, he was open. It was easy. It was 7-Eleven type shit. You know what I mean?
7.
Chadwick
7-Eleven.
Chadwick says he was able to cash at Rodgers. Will Brown says G. Davis, wide receiver from Buffalo, 4,900 on FanDuel. That's his value play. I get it. Last week he had 10 targets. Keep in mind, John Brown is back. That's all I'm saying.
JP is back.
That's all I'm
Better
saying.
than ever.
Just keep in mind. Hit that like button, nation. We're going to get up out of here. Get some teams built. Go get some sweat action on.
Yeah. That's right.
Paulie, anything in closing before we get up out of here?
No, it was nice to have 2 games on a Monday.
Yes, it is. One more question, because Kyle is the dude. What do you think about 3 backs tonight, or go wide out and flex?
Wide out and flex.
Most of the time, wide out and flex. The one exception to me today is if you do the double Arizona running backs. Then I think I'm okay. You want to take, like, I don't know, CEH or Zeke, but then your other 2 running back slots are for both the Arizona guys. I'm cool with that.
Right.
Moochie says Croft or Schultz at tight end.
Neither.
This is a FanDuel question. On DraftKings, I would say Croft, but still, then I would just play Kelsey in the flex. On FanDuel, I'd probably say Schultz because he's actually, he's not. Listen, he's not. Paulie already told us he ain't doing shit with his life. He's not going to amount to nothing. But he may be more liable to fall in the end zone. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Good.
He could. As he's doing nothing, he could stumble across the ball, trip and fall up in the end zone. All right, Nation, we're out of here. Hit the like button, subscribe. We'll catch you guys tomorrow night for the First Look Show. Myself, Patio Joe, getting busy, announcing the giveaways, doing all the good shit. Like Dix, For Paulie D, for myself, the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.